Rosé was never taking that Grammy, and some of y'all set yourselves up for heartbreak for no reason. We need to have a serious heart-to-heart because the state of the industry right now is actually getting weird. I've been scrolling through the headlines and the vibes are just all over the place. Between the shock Grammy wins that don't quite feel like victories and the massive groups making moves that leave us all scratching our heads, it feels like we're at a total turning point. Hello again, Rosaries, both old and new to the channel that is irrelevant on KTube. I have more opinions that will make you question how my brain works. All right, let's get started before you all leave. Number 1. Rosé was never going to win that Grammy.
Rosé was never taking that Grammy, and some of y'all set yourselves up for heartbreak for no reason. I like APT as it is catchy, it is cute, it lived on everybody's phone for months, but you can't be serious thinking it is a Grammy-level song. That track was running laps on TikTok and YouTube, yeah, but viral does not equal award magnet. We gotta stop acting shocked every single year like the show suddenly changed its taste overnight. The Grammys move funny, and they always have. It is industry people voting, not the general public screaming in comment sections. They care about certain sounds, certain songwriting styles, and certain circles. APT is a fun pop moment, not some deep, groundbreaking masterpiece that music snobs are gonna fight for in a voting room. Would it have been nice to see her win? Of course, I love seeing K-pop artists up there, but I already clocked it since day one that her winning was not possible. BTS got nominated 5 times and still went home empty-handed. That alone told me everything. K-pop is still treated like a guest, not family. Either labels start tailoring music heavy for Western ears, or these award shows make real space for the genre. Until then, I am not losing sleep over these trophies.
Number 2. Golden winning a Grammy for Best Song Written for Visual Media is not a win for K-pop. Look, we need to have a real conversation about Golden snagging that Grammy because the math just isn't adding up for me. People are out here throwing parades like this is some massive breakthrough for the genre, but let's keep it a stack. Winning for a track in an American animated flick that's wall-to-wall English isn't the flex everyone thinks it is. The soul of K-pop is rooted in the Korean language and the specific artistry that idols bring to the table. A real history-making moment would have been seeing a group take the stage for a project that actually represents their identity, not just lending vibes to a Hollywood soundtrack. I'm well aware that Urj is on the songwriters and the Black label squad like I-dle, 24, and Teddy handled the heavy lifting on the production side along with Ian Eisenrath, but that honestly makes the whole thing feel even more bittersweet. The Academy had every opportunity to give K-pop its flowers for the sheer impact and artistry it's brought to the global stage, especially looking at how BTS literally shifted the culture, yet they keep getting sidelined for safe, cookie-cutter pop. It honestly feels like the Grammys view the entire industry as some flashy gimmick rather than serious music. It's high-key disrespectful.
Number 3. The Grammy breakthrough might actually be a trap for K-pop's sonic identity. So hear me out. K-pop just hit a Grammy with Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, and everybody is hyped, right? But I'm low-key worried about what this means for the music itself, because now that a K-pop track has officially impressed the Western music elite, agencies are going to start overthinking everything. Expect them to scrub the grit, the chaos, the stuff that made K-pop feel like a whole universe crashing together in one song. Those wild genre flips, the weird little noise bits, the experimental hooks that made your head spin. Yeah, they might disappear. Instead, we're probably going to get this clean, safe, mid-tempo pop that ticks all the boxes for awards committees. Everything will be polished to death, and honestly, a little boring. The raw, messy, electric energy that makes K-pop feel alive could get traded for something that just sounds like a trophy magnet. I get it, awards are cool and recognition feels amazing, but if agencies chase that Grammy aesthetic too hard, we're gonna lose the thing that actually made us fall in love with K-pop in the first place. And trust me, no amount of gold statuettes can replace that thrill of the unpredictable, the chaotic, the absolutely insane magic only K-pop can deliver. Number 4, K-pop Demon Hunters is both a blessing and a curse. We have to admit that K-pop Demon Hunters is a total double-edged sword for the culture. On one hand, it is a massive blessing because it is actually digestible for the general public, and it is absolutely cleaning up during award season, both in South Korea and in the West. Seeing Golden get more flowers than music from actual idol groups is bittersweet, but you cannot deny the production value. It pushed producers toward these insane cinematic soundscapes with heavy bass and eerie choral layers that feel like a literal movie instead of just another looped TikTok beat. It is bringing back the ambition of a real bridge and storytelling through sound, which we desperately needed to save us from the era of viral hooks. But here is the curse. This win might shove the entire genre into a tiny box where the world only accepts one specific vibe. I am genuinely worried that the experimental risk-taking that made us fans will be traded for radio-friendly filler because that is what the Academy likes. Some people already think the soundtrack sounds basic or even childish compared to the raw energy of a real comeback. Then you have the elephant in the room, which is the song being entirely in English. It is tragic that for the industry to get its flowers, the Korea language has to be sidelined. We saw it with BTS getting nominated for their English tracks, while a masterpiece like Yet to Come only got a nod for the music video. It makes me wonder if Golden would even be in the conversation if it were written in Korean. While the recognition is huge, I really question if this move is actually benefiting the long-term identity of the music or just setting a trap for future artists.
Number 5. Gnarly is Cat's Eye's curse. I know this sounds absolutely wild, but hear me out before you start typing. Gnarly is low-key the biggest curse for Cat's Eye, and I am tired of pretending it isn't. The girls have such a deep bag of tracks that actually showcase what they can do, yet Gnarly is the one that everyone and their mother is obsessed with. It is genuinely confusing to see Western media outlets and even the Grammys push this specific song so hard when a masterpiece like Gabriella is right there. I have no idea why the industry decided that this was the definitive Cat's Eye sound, because it really feels like they are settling for the least interesting version of the group. The most frustrating part is that the company saw those streaming numbers and decided to double down on that exact vibe. That is exactly how we ended up with Internet Girl, which feels like a watered-down version of a sound that was already polarizing. They had the chance to let the girls flex their vocal talent and musicality with a direction like Gabriella, but instead they chose to play it safe with something that feels way more generic. Hybe really needs to take a page out of the SM playbook and give them the aespa treatment. Those girls get music that is actually challenging and highlights their raw ability while still being massive hits. We need tracks that have some actual weight and vocal depth so the world can see that Cat's Eye isn't just a TikTok moment. If the label keeps chasing the viral success of Gnarly, we are going to lose the chance to see these girls reach their full potential as vocal powerhouses. It is time to pivot away from the easy clicks and give us the high-level artistry we know they have.
Number 6. BlackPink coming out with 4 songs is a huge embarrassment to their brand. I can't say that I'm surprised, but it still looks bad, like really bad. How could they? BlackPink dropping a 4-song project after all this hype is a massive embarrassment to their legacy. At this point, the math is simply not mathing, and the fans deserve way more than these crumbs. Nobody put a gun to their heads and forced them to re-sign those contracts with YG Entertainment, so there is zero excuse for such a lazy output. I think we all saw the writing on the wall that they were mentally finished with group activities, since every single member is absolutely killing it on their own terms. It is honestly baffling why they chose to stay tied to the basement when their hearts clearly are not in it anymore. You can especially see it with Jennie because she looks completely fed up and drained every time she has to get on stage for a group performance. It is totally fine if they lost the spark for the group dynamic after all these years, but they are the ones who signed the dotted line to keep this going. If you are going to commit to the brand, then you need to actually deliver something substantial for the people who have been riding for you since the beginning. That album cover is another disaster that should have stayed locked in the dungeon forever because it looks like a low-effort rush job. It is high-key disrespectful to call a handful of tracks an album when most rookie groups are putting out more content in their first year. The girls obviously want to be solo superstars, and that is where their energy is going while the group brand is just being left to rot. I am honestly over the crumbs and the constant gatekeeping of music. They should have just called it a day instead of dragging out this shell of a group.
Number 7, variety skills are declining because idols don't need them anymore. We really need to talk about how variety skills are basically on life support in the industry right now. Back in the day, idols had to survive the trenches of national TV alongside veteran comedians who would absolutely roast them if they weren't on their toes. That era produced legends who actually knew how to handle a curveball or land a joke without looking like they were reading off a teleprompter. Nowadays, the art of being naturally funny is dying out because these groups are being coddled in their own little bubbles. Since self-produced content and YouTube series took over, agencies have basically cut traditional variety training out of the budget. Why bother learning how to vibe with the general public when you can just film a scripted vlog in your dorm where every single frame is edited to make you look perfect? We are losing those unpredictable, chaotic personalities that made the genre feel human and relatable. Instead, we are getting idols who are clearly terrified of saying the wrong thing or breaking their carefully curated persona. The insider content we get now is so sanitized and focused on inside jokes that only the hardcore fans understand. There is no growth, no comedic timing, and definitely no spontaneity. It feels like everyone is just playing at character instead of letting their actual freak flag fly. If we keep moving in this direction, where everything is filmed by the company staff, the legendary variety idol is going to become a relic of the past. We are trading genuine charisma for safe, boring content that is honestly a snooze fest if you aren't already obsessed with the group.
Number 8, why the rosé hate? I really need to wrap my head around why everyone is choosing this exact moment to dogpile on rosé. Ever since she walked away without a trophy at the Grammys, the energy on the timeline has been straight up toxic. I am seeing these nasty comments about how Bruno Mars had this legendary winning streak until she came along and ruined it, which is such a wild reach. People are even out here spreading fake news about Bruno unfollowing her because of the loss when they literally never followed each other in the first place. It is like everyone just ignored the fact that they were eating pizza and vibing after the show just to keep this fallout narrative alive. The double standard is honestly screaming. When APT was smashing records and sitting at the top of the charts, everyone was happy to give Bruno all the credit. But the second they don't get the win, it is suddenly all Rosé's fault? Make it make sense. It feels like people are just looking for any excuse to label her a flop or bring up old controversies that have nothing to do with the music. Maybe it's a lingering grudge from the past or people projecting the frustration from when BTS got snubbed, but taking it out on her is a low blow. Did anyone seriously think a fun, lighthearted track about a drinking game was going to sweep the major categories against heavy hitters? Probably not, but that doesn't mean she deserves to be a punching bag for the Academy's choices. She made history just by being on that stage and opening the show, yet instead of celebrating that milestone, the internet is choosing to be bitter with a capital B.
Number 9. I-dle's Mono is the step in the right direction. Finally, I-dle dropped some music that actually hits the spot, because Mono is a total masterpiece. I am going to be completely honest and say that their last project that really did it for me was back in 2021, and everything since 2022 felt a little bit off. But they really turned things around with this release, because it sounds so much stronger and more focused than their recent title tracks. I have had the entire song on loop since it dropped, and there is literally not a single second of it that I want to skip. It is the first time in a long time where it feels like they are leading the pack again, instead of just following a trend. The music video is also a massive win because the visuals are incredibly cool and perfectly match that minimalist, cinematic vibe they were going for. Seeing them collaborate with Skywater was such a fresh move because it added a different layer to their sound without losing that signature I-dle identity. It feels like they finally stopped trying so hard to create a viral TikTok moment and went back to making music that actually has some depth and soul. This track proves that they still have that creative spark that made them legends in the first place. The bass is heavy, the vocals are crisp, and the message of focusing on your own essence really resonates with where the group is at right now. I am just so relieved that we are back to getting high-quality production that prioritizes the art over the gimmick. Mono is definitely the step in the right direction that we have all been waiting for, and I hope they keep this same energy for the rest of the year.
Number 10. The 3 red circles marketing for BTS is better than a full rollout. I have heard some truly wild takes lately, but claiming that the 3 red circles marketing for BTS is a bad move has to be the most confused opinion on the internet.
While a lot of fans are losing their minds because we don't have a traditional teaser schedule for the March 20th album, this mystery drop is actually a genius play. We are living in an era where we are absolutely drowning in oversaturated content and constant spoilers, so Big Hit choosing to keep us in the dark is the ultimate power move. The fact that we are weeks away from a ring and we still have zero concept photos or a track list is honestly the most punk rock thing a K-pop group has done in a decade. By stripping everything back to those 3 cryptic red circles, the focus stays entirely on the anticipation and the music itself. It forces the fandom to actually engage and theorize, instead of just consuming another pre-packaged rollout that feels like a corporate checklist. This isn't about being lazy or gatekeeping information, it is about reclaiming the hype. In a world where every single detail of a comeback is usually leaked or teased to death months in advance, having no idea what the sonic direction is makes the eventual drop feel like a massive cultural event. The mystery is what makes it fun. We are finally getting that old-school feeling of genuine surprise back in the industry. Instead of the same generic hype cycle we see from every other group, BTS is moving in silence and letting the symbols speak for themselves. It is a bold, artistic statement that says they don't need to beg for our attention with a million TikTok challenges before the lead single even lands. If you can't see how this mystery is building way more tension than a standard rollout, you are completely missing the vision.
Number 11. Stop talking about I-dle's bodies. Whew, okay. But can we please retire the Olympic sport of analyzing I-dle's bodies like it's a group project? 'Cause I'm tired. Actually exhausted. Some of y'all don't even hear the song. You see a collarbone and lose all sense. And don't hit me with the "it's a compliment" excuse. Calling someone body goals every 5 seconds is still weird. You're still zooming in on a human being like they're a Pinterest board. These are artists, not build-a-body workshops. The way stans talk, you'd think the comeback was sponsored by ribs and thigh gaps instead of producers and choreographers. What makes it even worse is the switch-up. If an idol looks thinner, OMG, visuals, perfect, how do they do it? If they look different, I'm concerned. No, you're not concerned. You're just used to them fitting one specific look and panicking when they don't. Netizens have a habit of picking idols apart for what they consider as flaws when they are natural. For example, gaining weight, having body fat in some areas, body rolls, and so on. For the people who have good intentions when praising idols' bodies, there's something that you need to understand. This industry already has wild pressure behind the scenes, so when stans keep hyping size and shape like it's a trophy, you're low-key feeding the same system that probably stresses them out in the first place. You can hype stage presence, you can talk about styling, you can scream about vocals, but once the convo turns into measurements and I need their body, yeah, we've left music and entered object territory. That's the line.
Number 12. We need to do better as Black K-pop fans to hold idols accountable. Black K-pop fans, our feelings are real and nobody can tell us otherwise. But the way we move sometimes is playing right into these idols' hands. Some of these people know exactly what they are doing. They poke, they tease, they copy, they act clueless, and then boom, instant engagement from our outrage. Timelines on fire, fan cams under every post, and their names trending. That is free promo. We keep writing essays, making threads, posting clips, and they sit back collecting streams and followers. At some point, we have to clock the game. Silence hits harder than outrage when attention is the goal. We need to stop giving attention to clowns, stop hate watching, and stop funding their nonsense. If somebody keeps showing you they do not rate your culture, believe them and move accordingly. And yes, I am talking about certain repeat offenders who continuously do stupid stuff to get attention. Cough, cough, Tarzan, cough, cough. Nobody is that unaware in this day and age. They see the noise and still double down because it keeps them relevant. We deserve better, and that starts with us choosing where our time, money, and energy go.
Rosé's fashion be stressing me out. I keep expecting a serve, and she keeps giving background character at a luxury event. The other members step out looking like money, drama, and main character energy, while Rosé walks out looking like the stylist ran out of time and said, yeah, this'll do. That Grammy outfit took me out in the worst way. From the front, it was already giving plain. Then the white fabric around the waist made it look thrown together like a last-minute arts and crafts project. I stared, I sighed, and then I locked my screen.
You are the face of Saint Laurent, the fashion house of sleek, sharp, and rich energy. Where is the impact? Can someone please explain to me why Rosé is wearing 2 white garbage bags around her waist at the Grammys? What really gets me is she has better outfits on stage under sweaty lights than on red carpets with global cameras. That makes no sense. Red carpets are where you go big, take risks, and shut people up. Instead, it feels safe, forgettable, and low effort. I just know she can do better than this.
That is basically where my head is at with everything that has been going on lately. It feels like we are standing at a crossroads where the next few moves are going to define exactly what this culture looks like for the next decade. Whether you are hyped about the changes or feeling a bit uneasy about the direction things are headed, you cannot deny that the landscape is shifting right under our feet. I'm going to leave it there for now and let you all sit with those thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you are seeing the same patterns or if you think I'm totally overthinking the situation. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and like, subscribe, and click that notification bell, Rosieries, to get more content. I'll see you all next time.